Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome. Good to see you. I want to talk a little bit about the HHS reorganization on some of the programs that impact Alaska's most vulnerable populations. I sent you a note letting you know that just after this hearing, I'm going to be chairing a Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, specifically examining HHS tribal programs that are outside of IHS. I really thank you for your early efforts to exempt IHS healthcare providers from the RIFs. That was very important. But I've also heard concerns from tribal leaders on the impacts of RIFs to key HHS programs serving their communities. So I know you're going to have some of your folks tuning in on that, and I really appreciate that. But some of the other reductions that we're looking at within your budget do have significant consequences to a state like mine. One is the LIHEAP program, the Low-Income Energy Assistance. For us, it's not a budget line item. You've been to Alaska, you know that the temperatures there can get really, really tough. Keeps people from freezing to death in their homes. Another program is NIOSH, and I know that HHS had rescinded a number of those employees. That was great news. But the employees that received RIF notices for the program were not rescinded in the NIOSH Center for Marine Safety and Health Studies. So this is a big deal for our commercial fishing safety. It could effectively leave our fishing fleet out of compliance with Coast Guard safety regs. So we're watching that very, very carefully. And then again, shared focus here on making sure that our children are as healthy as they possibly can be. So I want to look to ways that we can strengthen and not eliminate the Head Start program. But I wanted to ask you...
You're talking about the NIOSH program.
NIOSH, yeah.
You should talk to me about that.
Okay.
And, as you know, that's something that I'm deeply concerned with the commercial fishery. So we should talk about it, and let's, and let's work for a solution.
Got it. I am with you right there. Let me ask about domestic violence and sexual assault funding. Right now, I'm receiving a lot of incoming from our community-based domestic and sexual violence program operators. They're really concerned about the delayed release of FY25 funding, the absence of notices of funding opportunities, as well as proposed cuts or consolidations that might threaten the Office of Family Violence Prevention and CDC's Division of Violence Prevention. So you've got some programs there that are really foundational to domestic and sexual violence. They've been reauthorized with bipartisan support. So I'm going to enter into the record a letter from the National Task Force, and it basically was sent to you, I guess, yesterday, just urging the communication of concrete plans for releasing some of these funds. So I want to raise that to your level, but I want to make sure that we're sending the right signal to so many who are just really on the edge with, again, these community-based services that are helping the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable. So we've got the funding that's out there. It's just delayed. We need help releasing that.
Yeah, my understanding is that the domestic violence funding was not cut. So I don't know. I mean, I have to go back and check, but I specifically asked about that program last night. Was told that there was no cuts, that President Trump is committed to it, and so I don't know why people would be experiencing even delays.
And it may be that it is with the RIFs, you don't have people that are processing these things. So again, I want to get this to the top of your screen. Last question for you. I mentioned LIHEAP. The budget proposal, the skinny budget proposes to eliminate LIHEAP, and the proposal says that it's unnecessary because states have policies preventing utility disconnection for low-income households, effectively making LIHEAP a pass-through benefiting utilities in the Northeast. Further, LIHEAP rewards states like New York and California, two of the top recipients for LIHEAP funding, which have implemented anti-consumer policies. I'm just telling you, we're not in the Northeast. We're not in that bucket. We're cold. There are other places that are hot. LIHEAP is a lifesaver. I did see your statement from yesterday saying that OMB was thinking that President Trump's energy policy is going to reduce costs dramatically. It may be a while. Right now, folks in Alaska still need those ugly diesel generators to keep warm. So
Yeah, I know. I was on Navajo. First of all, I've heard that my whole life because my family was involved in providing low-cost energy to poor New England, and there are people in New England who suffer from if energy prices are high and you have a cold winter. I was on the Navajo reservation a couple of weeks ago, and Navajo President Boone Nygren said to me, if we cut light heat, people will die on this reservation. I know the same is true in Alaska. The presumption behind the budget cuts were that the energy prices were going to drop dramatically, in which case these payments would just become a subsidy to the oil industry. If that doesn't happen, I would expect Congress would then still appropriate the money, and I will spend it. I've already spent $400 million between January and now on this program, and we've made sure to get it out to all the families that needed it. So
I think you're going to find a lot of support on this committee for that. Senator Murphy.